You're listening to FCS Nation on the Palmetto Radio Network. Very pleased to be joined by Mr. Ken Clark, the co-host of Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. That's a great Jackson State athletics podcast. But thanks for being here, Ken. Let's talk about the Deion Sanders situation and where Jackson State goes from here. Your thoughts on Coach Prime going to Colorado?
Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for having me on, first and foremost. Happy to be on to speak about, all things Jackson State. And like you stated, co-host Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. That was an absolute loaded question. Deion Sanders, I would say what a 2 years, what a great ride that it has been for Jackson State football Tigers and what he's been able to come and do in this HBCU space. Coach Prime, we know around 2020, he wanted to become a head football coach, wanted to start at the Power 5 level, and those opportunities that he interviewed for were not necessarily afforded to him. And he encountered our athletic director, Mr. Ashley Robinson, who got word that he was looking for an opportunity, and through several conversations was able to convince him that Jackson State was an opportunity that he could actually take a look into, with us being a great FCS program with great attendance, great fan base, so forth and so on. And the rest is history. September 21st, 2020, he was introduced as our new head football coach. And from that point, everyone knows kind of what has happened. It has been a media storm. It has been a lot of great football played in Jackson, Mississippi, and great recruiting, social media marketing. I mean, the brand of Jackson State has taken off to a new height. So we always knew that this day was going to come. We knew Deion Sanders wasn't going to be the head football coach forever. Although we would have liked to see it be a little longer, he sought out a new challenge to take over Colorado Buffaloes, and as we all know, he's going to be the new head coach for them going forward. And now Jackson State is in a position where we are looking for a new head coach, which I expect us to name a new coach soon. And from there, we'll know the direction that we'll go. But I think that the foundation has been laid. There's a lot of good things in place for the new next head football coach to come in. We got new upgraded facilities. Still got some more things we're working on in the football department as far as facilities. Coach Prime blessed us with a partnership with Walmart to get a new practice field. Like I stated, several new uniforms with a new sponsorship and apparel deal with Under Armour, and so many other things that it'll take probably all day to kind of mention that he's been able to do. When you lose a figure like a Deion Sanders, there is only one Deion Sanders. So where you go from here, it just depends on which direction we like to go. Are we looking to try to make a big splash and continue along the same vein as a Deion Sanders, which we know we can never probably reach that mountaintop again? Or do you go more of a lesser of a route? And that's something one that you're looking for, maybe a long-term replacement. And I think we all will know here soon what Ashley Robinson, who is a great, phenomenal athletic director, decides to do.
Were there people in the Jackson State community and in the HBCU community who expected Deion Sanders to be Eddie Robinson or Willie Jeffries? I think that if there were, that was kind of unrealistic thinking, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, we were wowed by the opening press conference and speech and the things that he went on to say. He talked about leveling the playing field. He talked about creating a highway from HBCU to the NFL, which in his time, he did get one draft pick. James Houston was drafted 6th round to the Detroit Lions. And we have some expectation of some players on this current roster that should get drafted, and we hope that they get drafted in the 2023 draft. But the things that he said, I'll say it this way, and I said it on our show recently. I said the dream that Deion Sanders sold is a dream that we've always wanted to realize in HBCU space. We've always wanted to feel like the playing field was level. But there's so many other factors that, like I said, it would take a case study in days and weeks and to try to really explain the differences and why we are in some of the conditions that we are in. Historically, severely underfunded. When you hear that, you hear someone like a Deion Sanders, it's very believable, and we did believe, even coined the hashtag I believe, right? What I do see, though, believe it or not, I see a youthful spirit in Deion Sanders where he's living out a dream that he's always wanted. And I'm happy for him in that sense. But if we were being realistic about the dream and the vision that he sold for HBCUs, that's not a 2, 3, even 4-year or 5-year strategy. That's more of a 10 to 20 year. We're talking a couple of decades, and it has to be a lifelong mission to plant your feet in the HBCU space, preferably at Jackson State, and be willing to overcome all the many obstacles that are in place to keep us from being in that position. So I think his heart was in the right place, and I think he did some wonderful things. I think he laid a foundation, and he gave us a blueprint of what it can look like if we address some of the issues. So it's on us now. It's on us. I said that last night on my YouTube page. It's on us as Jackson State alums, supporters, and fans to make sure that we ask the right questions, to make sure that we're willing to step up to the plate and do whatever we need to do to close some of the gaps of some of the things that we may complain that we don't have. You get what I'm saying? So many feel like he sold us a dream and he dipped out, way before he had time to really fulfill that dream for us. But if we're being honest, it was a tall order, even from the first time he said it. So we want to live with the things that we were able to gain, because this was a partnership / marriage, and both sides really, really, really benefited from it. And we need to celebrate. That needs to be the main story, and not so much as, well, he left early or he didn't do this or he didn't do that. I feel like Jackson State should be appreciative of the time we had with Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders should also be appreciative of Jackson State. I'll say this one last thing and I'll let you go. I tweeted this. I said, Deion Sanders elevated Jackson State University, but Jackson State University elevated Coach Prime. And I stand on that, because Coach Prime really wasn't a coach on this level or on the college level until he got that opportunity at Jackson State.
FCS Nation, that's been Mr. Ken Clark, the co-host of Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. And Ken, how can people follow the show and get your show and follow you on social media?
Yes, Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. We're on Spotify, we're on Anchor, Google Podcasts, all your major podcast outlets. That's Tiger, Tiger, with WITH, the THE, 1400 Club, spelled with a K, 1400 KLUB. Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. We're on Spotify. We're also on YouTube. And just like I said, just type in Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club. You can find me directly on my YouTube as well as my social media. It's Ken Clark, KENCLARK _1400. I do live streams, usually 3 to 4 times a week, and it provides our supporters and listeners kind of a peep under the tent where we can kind of let our hair down from the actual podcast. So we love to have as many eyes and supporters. If you're looking for some great JSU football content and all sports related content, feel free to tap in, and I'm appreciative for being able to come on your show.
Hey, thank you, Ken. And look, Stone Lebanowitz and I don't want you peeping under our tent, so I'm glad that you give people an opportunity to do that to you.
Absolutely, yeah, it does. The live interactions with fans, and we have a lot of questions, and people have really gravitated towards that type of activity, and it allows us to be a little bit more personable. So Ken Clark _1400, Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate you being here, dude.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Kevin. Go Tigers.